right, welcome to Raising Funds for World Domination, day number 298. So, for today's daily update, there are once again no updates on the anticipated appeal. There is a one more sponsored block type in the store. There was someone who bought one recently, and that has been added to the game, and that's been pushed to GitHub. As for work on next long-form video, I did a little bit of work on that today. All right, tonight, I guess we will continue with work on the terminal block mining simulation game. So yesterday I got it working with the WebSockets connection. So now there's actually there's a bunch of quite a number of different cleanup tasks to do. I thought about it, and it's actually there's actually a few different updates I'm going to have to make to the chunk loading model to support multiple clients loading chunks for the same world and also different worlds. Okay, that's the single pair version. Oh, forget Orthoplex 64. Greetings. Can't remember if I saluted you yet or not. Okay, so that's the networked version working. There's some changes to the memory model I have to fix so that it works with two different player-server connections at once. Actually, there's quite a few different cleanup things I can do. I guess at this point, I could completely get rid of the multiplayer client. So I think I will. Let's make sure that didn't break anything. And now the single player client can be called client. Oh, it's gonna mess up my muscle memory though. Grand Archibald. Hello, Chief. What are the news for world domination? Have you seen my recent video? Because the video I posted on was the 4th. That's a decent update. Other than that, we've just been raising financing every day. Been working away at the block mining simulation game to raise additional revenue. Made some new shorts videos, clips out of the last video. My people have suffered. Yeah, I originally put it on an A/B test. I called it either "My People Have Suffered" or "The Road to Axel Heiberg." In the A/B test, I didn't let it run the whole time, but I guess it kind of that one's a bit more clickbait. Actually, I guess I won't delete that. Worked well, directly to my homepage. Yeah, the video, it did well initially, but then it kind of seemed to taper off quickly. I mean, it'd be nice to have another like 100,000 view video or something, but it's hard to predict what the algorithm wants. What is this, bro? This is video game development. Video game development of a terminal-based video game for Linux. And if you want to know more about it, check the links in the description. There's a link to the GitHub, and there's a couple of videos that it links to on there. Ready to cut wood. Where do I sign? By the way, there's not much wood in Axel Heiberg. That's true. We'll have to find some elsewhere. There's a bunch of like there's thousands of acres of like swampland in northern Ontario that nobody probably really cares about. I saw your CPU tutorial. Excellent. That's my most viewed video. It was great. Excellent. Yeah, I was thinking about making a follow-up to it, but there's so many videos to make, so few hours in a day. What do I think of the Rust language? I've been hearing about it for years. I know there's a lot of very fanatic people that like it. The syntax seems a bit complicated for me. I don't know. I probably won't bother ever learning it, unless I need to for a project. I do think there is some merit to the whole like memory safety stuff. There is a sore need for like a desktop middleware type language that doesn't have like writing any kind of string operations in C in this day and age or C++ is completely insane. But then again, I think another competitor like I've never tried. I guess if I was going to learn another language, I'd probably learn Go instead of learning Rust. And when it comes to like strict embedded, like low-level embedded stuff like Arduino projects, I think C still makes sense. Okay, that was the first step. What do you think of how important to consider exercise training, like lead code, code wars? I've never done those. I've heard of lead code. I never heard of code wars. Having said that, those are kind of like after my time. Like when I was in university, we were like grinding for interviews and stuff. People, there were all kinds of like sessions and stuff where people would solve problems on whiteboards. And I guess a lot of that was just kind of done more manually, but now we do. I guess that's why things like lead code exist. Having said that, it's probably not like there's a certain type of person that like gets almost like a competitive at it. Like they'll get really good at, they get really upset. Like it's so gamified that well, they'll get like to the top 1% of, I think there's like leaderboards and stuff. Just like with like math competitions, like there are people who would score like the top 1% of competitive math competitions, and just because you're in that range doesn't necessarily mean you're going to do great on an interview. In fact, there's probably lots of people who do win math competitions who would not, or just not it takes a different type of mind to do that stuff really well, and a ton of time to become so good at it. But I think it is like if you're planning to interview at Google, Facebook, whatever, you definitely do want to at least learn like O notation and stuff, because if you don't know that, if they say like, give me we're deciding on this sorting algorithm and it has to be O of the worst case O of this, and you don't know your O notation then, or your graph algorithms or dynamic programming, see, will that work? Oh, that's why. Ideally, that should be a better UI element, but there's so many UI improvements I need to do. need to clear that. Did the road construction start already? The Grace Bay Porton Road project. That's a real project. I think it's like proposed. If you search for that, the GRAYS Porton Road project. It's kind of hard to actually find a map of where it's going. It's going like they're starting it off on like an ice road, and then the last few kilometers are go through some rough terrain, and so that's going to go up there. So that technically that road is in construction, but the next 1,000 miles across the northern permafrost, that probably won't start for a long time. Just watching 1980. It says, "Hey Robert, been a while since I watched you. What's your opinion on using AI to code?" So there's more. There's a sore subject. It is still on my to-do list to experiment with it. My video views are down. Actually, that actually might be why you haven't watched in a while. It's because the last couple of videos I put a lot of time into them, and those videos did not get a lot of views, so the channel views are down. So I've been kind of just diced some of them up and made shorts clips, and so that is bringing the channel views up, which I think is pulling people in who have not been here in a while. But I guess to answer your question, I haven't actually gotten past the like just testing it out in ChatGPT a couple times. I've been keeping tabs on like what other people have said about vibe coding and like the kinds of results it produces and stuff. It really seems like AI coding is good. The results of it are good. Or like, it could replace programmers when the acceptable solution space is large and fuzzy. So, for example, if you want to write a program that wishes someone happy birthday and it has some like colorful designs or something, or if you say like make a web page that wishes someone happy birthday, it would be very good at like making the HTML that does that. And it's further easy because like, what does a good happy birthday message website look like? It's even if it's like misspelled or something, it's close enough. In HTML, you can misformat it, and there's tons of examples of correct patterns. But it seems to be when the solution space is large, and you are looking for one specific correct solution among many, among a large search space, and if it hasn't already memorized that answer, those are the cases where it doesn't seem to be good. Long time. How much money or people do we need to get this started? First I'm trying to raise $12 billion for the Deepwater port. So that's going to take quite a while. I think I got 3,500 so far. So, and I think, what was I was calculating the other day? I think you could probably, I think for $10 billion, you could probably build a road up there. And then of course there's other expenses like and if you're building a rail line alongside it too, it's going to be expensive. Otherwise, latest videos, 10 out of 10, pure masterclass. Excellent. I assume that means, yeah, I guess normally 10 out of 10 means good. On the YouTube ranking, it's reverse. Like they'll every video you put out, it's ranked out of 10, and if you get a 1, that means your video is really good. Do you think of it like Paul Bunyan versus machines? I'm not really sure what you mean by that. 3,500, 14 billions. Yep, it's a good start. Thanks for explaining. Yeah, I think that's the right way that I articulate it. Because like, my intuition is if it can like, you know, make mistakes, and the mistakes are fine, like I said in the happy birthday example, like if I say give me a nice web page, a nice looking web page that wishes you happy birthday, that's just very, very easy. And it could add like tons of decorations like balloons and like a cake, or a cake that's like malformed and it looks weird or something, and you'd be like, okay, it did what I asked, and that's good enough. But if you said, give me an extremely hyper optimized, like the fastest possible memory copy function for a very specific ARM architecture that's running in like, you know, like ring 0, it's using like, you know, some privileged instructions and stuff, and it has like 50 different cases for like copying ints and copying characters and overlapping, non-overlap. There's tons of cases for something like that. That is the kind of thing that I would expect. It would give you something, but it would almost certainly be wrong, because it would just be like, it'd be close in the solution space, but because you need this one correct solution, and it's just not able to do it. Having said that, the whole like, you know, agentic thinking, that is interesting, because it does seem to be able to, like it can generate outputs, and then if you do another query and say like, can you tell me if the output you gave me is correct? Sometimes it'll give you output, and you ask it like, is that output correct? And it's like, no, this output is wrong. Let me try and fix it for you. And then it gives you some other output that's wrong. That Linux command gave me a virus. Which one? There's so many Linux commands. What I mean is, do you resist integrating AI to your programming because you want to do things manually? It's more like an automated code completion. I guess I've just been programming this way for so long. Like I did try using IntelliJ for a while, and I actually just found it was faster for me to go back to manually programming. So the whole reason I started using IntelliJ was because I actually wanted. Actually, it was when I first started this series, I wanted to try AI programming. So I was like, okay, I'll actually pay money for some like plugin. And then I had a lot of issues with IntelliJ. And then I read some reviews for the plugin, and they said it was like it was so horrible that it was like not even worth using, and it was much worse than the VS Code one. And they said they couldn't even get it to copy and paste text and stuff. It had like a 1-star rating. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna waste my time experimenting with this right now. I think it's gotten a lot better in the last year. So I am overdue for another try. Use VS Code. Yeah, I've yet to use VS Code. I decided on IntelliJ because I looked into what was like the modern way to program in Java, and it seems like everyone uses IntelliJ. Let me think. First, I should fix the clearing issue. Oh, nice. We got a super chat for $5 from Just Watching 1980. Thank you very much. So, my code for printing out the list of connections doesn't clear the screen. So that's why the text is overwriting. could write blank spaces. Kind of another text layer. Can't think of a good way to do this to clear the background, the previously written text. It's just simple and fast. I'm end up slowly reinventing a whole like UI system. I guess maybe I could just do. I think there's a clear frame method. There we go, that's better. Okay, now there's actually feedback. also think about what happens if I do this. Seven Edom says hello. Hello to you too. So I guess I could improve that by not crashing. And then just printing out the exception. My country isn't even available in the delivery drop-down on Shopify. Oh, it's not? Actually, I think I for the physical products, I had to answer like a whole bunch of information for the shipping. Oh yeah, I think when I was trying to get to work with Google Merchant Center, I had to do a bunch of stuff. It was a ton of work, and there's all these rules for like, so if I sell into South Korea, I have to give them my South Korean business number, which is like I don't have, and I don't know how, and so I think I disabled shipping for any country that was going to be a lot of work. But then after all that work, they refused my PL 3 times, so I cannot. What country is it? I might be able to add it. I think I probably was. So I just selected all countries, and then it was to try and get approved in Google Merchant Center. Like I probably can add it, but for Google Merchant Center, there's just extra hoops you have to jump through. So I was just like, okay, I'll whatever I have to do to get Merchant Center to approve me, and they didn't approve me anyway. I'll make a note of it if you don't mind. Let me know. Which country? Bosnia and Herzegovina. Is that second one? Herzegovina. Is that like the province within Bosnia? I have done a bunch of international shipping before with some Kickstarter projects that I did. I'm not sure. I may have sold at least one thing to Bosnia in the past. It's definitely not a frequent country that I've gotten requests from, but even the name of the country is a rabbit hole to explore. Yeah, Bosnia. Is that one of those countries where there's like, is that near Georgia? It's over around like it's over around like, is it near like Serbia? Or we have 3 presidents? That should be enough. Between Serbia and Croatia, near Italy. So most Westerners can imagine it. Oh, okay. Yeah, those areas, Serbia and I forget what borders Serbia and Slovakia, Croatia. Those countries they're always fighting. They're always angry. They're changing their borders and names all the time. Matthew Hea Kadua says, "What's up? LOLs. Not too much. Just working on the block mining simulation game tonight." About sums it up. Yeah, I think I remember there's it's hard to learn about all those things. I watch there's a YouTube channel called Caspian Report, and they have lots of documentaries, or like not documentaries, but like news, geopolitical news analysis, and that's how I learned my latest news about the geopolitics of Serbia and surrounding countries. Just wanted to check your Shopify shipping. You do lots of stuff. It is unexpected. And supporting PIH would be something out of the box. Yeah, I'll take a look. I'll try to remember. It's very often that when I have these conversations on chat, as soon as I end the live stream, I forget. But I'll make a note of it. I guess I check my Shopify inbox every morning. So I'll probably, when I look at that, I'll be like, oh yeah. People there have businesses and do shipping from US to BIH from Amazon, Best Buy, and other chains. Thing is, it's very, very small market with lots of rules to comply with. Probably not worth it. Yeah, that has become a theme actually. It kind of started ramping up around COVID. Like I was generating some revenue doing. I was selling like stickers, packs of stickers on like coding theme stuff on Kickstarter, and then around that time they brought in this like one-stop shop rule where you have to like there's like 5,000 different VAT rules for all these countries in Europe, and there's all these exceptions. And then there was a thing where like the UK left, so they were some other exception, and you have to also consider like what happens in Northern Ireland, which is technically a part of the UK, but it left, so it's not. It's just the whole thing is a nightmare. And the worst part is if I have to do all this stuff, you're supposed to fill out a customs form. But if I fill out the customs form, then I can't just put like a stamp on it. I have to make it a parcel. So that makes the shipping go from like, $2 for a stamp to like $20 something. So effectively, it kind of almost just makes like small business commerce not possible. Sounds like someone giving you $1 to walk through a minefield, making you pay for the experience. Yeah. The options, the available options to build a business are decreasing. I'm not sure where we're headed. Before you know, it's going to be illegal to have a business. We'll be like North Korea, where capitalism is illegal. What is your favorite Linux command? That's a good question. I actually made a video specifically about that. If you go to my channel and search for favorite Linux command, you'll find the video. Has to be cat. It's one of those commands. Love that series. Excellent. It was a lot of work to make that series. Is Ramadan coming up? Might catch your streams more often. It was nice stopping by. I'll see you around. Have a good night. Okay, that's close to what I'm looking for. All right. I guess the next stream, I will I'll wrap these connections in a try catch. And then I'll display the exceptions up here. And then I'll maybe also put a like status message says like successfully connected or something. And then I think there's a few other things to kind of fix. One is I should also add a list of the authorized connections here. And this also, I want to prefix this with the world connection, and probably do that for other frames too. And then also, the in-memory chunks class is going to need to be updated so I can connect to multiple. There's a couple different fixes that are necessary for being connected to multiple worlds at once. All right, so that'll come in the following streams. All right, we'll be back tomorrow for day 299. All right, have a good night.